Welcome to another episode of Concrete Mystique, the podcast. This is the one we've all been waiting for. Captain T and the Purist are interviewing the one and only, the reigning, undisputed Smackdown champion of the world. Lugo is in the house with us today. We have been trying to get this one together for days. We have had so many issues with computers and connections. I am so glad you guys finally got to do this with me. Thank you very much for joining me. How about that one for an intro?
Yes.
That was good.
We got the Smackdown champ in the house, finally. Finally, 2 weeks later. How's it feel to be the Smackdown champion right off the bat?
It feels good. It feels good. I know we tried to get this going on a few days ago, and I had to go get another laptop. So but we made that happen, and I'm
Nice.
glad to be here with you guys tonight.
It has been funny doing all of these interviews, not just with this show, but like just in general that I do over the years about how bad concrete guys are with technology. It's amazing. And if you guys, Tony's seen all my gear to do the podcast. Yep. You have no idea my world and my fancy computer and everything I do to make this happen, because you're right. I have to have a supercomputer to do all of my editing. Your laptop would just burn up and melt, trying to handle all that, what it takes to do a couple videos. I just did Cody and Nick, and it was 4 videos at one time in one video. So, that was like over a 20, 30 gig video after I compressed it. It's amazing how much it takes to do this, actually.
The amount of gear he has is incredible.
It fits into a small
box. It really is.
I went out and just, bit the bullet on a good laptop, and I said, this will do, and hopefully last us a few years. I won't have to go back and spend some more money,
Well, I'm imagining you'd rather be investing most of your money into defending this championship next year. Is that correct?
We're still in debate if we're gonna go back.
Really?
We haven't talked about it yet, but I'm still gonna go back. Regardless if it's gonna be to compete again. I want to be there, and I want to participate in any possible way I can. But I haven't talked to the Whitfields yet to see if they want to go back and be on the same team and compete. And if they do, then we're pretty sure we'll come back and we'll bring something better to the table.
Yeah, that's cool, because I know you helped out. You were working at the expo last year. Is that correct? At one of the learning zone
Chris
stations,
Kroll,
like
yeah.
I did. Yeah. And then you went from that right into the Smackdown. So describe that experience. You went from just being an attendee at the expo to an instructor to a Smackdown not only competitor but champion.
Yeah, that's it. It was I think the first time I went down to one of the events was about 4 years ago or so. Like you said, I was just a spectator. That's where I met Chris Kroll. He gave me some techniques, and from there, we hit it off. I would ask him questions. He would, help me with certain stuff and projects that I had going on. And then that's how I got affiliated with the Wicked Colors. And then from there, it's just been, nonstop improvement. Skill wise, starting new stuff. Meeting new people. Networking. It's been a really nice 4 years. From just that moment that I went to the expo, my whole career from there on forward just completely went 360 in a good way, and it's been great. No complaints, no regrets, and I'm looking forward already for the next upcoming 4 years, just to see if I was able to get this far from that point to now. I can just imagine, what can happen within these next 4 years.
Yeah. Well, let's start there too, and tell us a little bit more of your background. Like, how long have you been in this industry? When did you start? How did you start? Stuff like that.
So in the concrete business, I've been around concrete my whole life since I was a little kid. I remember probably when I was like 6, 8 years old, I would be the smallest kid, so they would throw me in between the foundation walls to tie the rebar. So I've been around the concrete for a good 15 plus years. I registered my first concrete business 12 years ago. So that's been, going good. That's a Lugo's General Construction one. And then BKL was a business that I purchased from somebody that was a concrete business. And then I just transitioned it into a coating business, all the epoxies and overlay systems and stuff like that. And then with that, I mean, it's been about like 2 3 years with the whole epoxy thing, But I don't know. I've always been one of those like you teach me once, and I'm a hands-on person. I pick it up right away, And then with me, I try to always perfection what I do or find a rhythm to like, be consistent and be productive. So I feel like that's what's been helping me, get to where I've been getting.
That's an interesting point. Would you say in your, because you've been in business for 12 years, that's actually a pretty long time from what I would have expected to hear you say. Would you say the coatings, when you got into that, is that what propelled you to kind of go beyond your local area and get really connected with this nationwide industry?
I think what got me into like wanting to, like, pretty much do a little bit of everything was when I became an affiliate with Wicked Colors because
Yeah.
those guys do. I mean, you go from vertical to laying down resin floors or overlay systems to full depth concrete. So once I got into that, within those years, I traveled from state to state helping out other affiliates, and it just to me it was something like new, and I like it. I don't mind the traveling. I like going to new projects, doing new things, and everything's different. That's what I like about it. We're not always
Yeah,
doing the same thing.
yeah. For the record, Tony, he's been to Clarksville, Tennessee twice the last 2 years in a row for the Wicked Colors little convention that they have for all their
Yes.
affiliates, which is about 50 miles from me, maybe less. But no
Oh,
one contacts me to ask to hang out with the master in
that's really
downtown
close.
Nashville. They
Yeah.
come to the other side of my city, they go downtown, but I don't get invited to any of it at all. That's the kind of friend I am to the Wicked Colors
Hey,
team.
I wasn't aware of that. Next time, personally, I will pick you up myself and take you down there with.
I've gotten on Isaiah's case about it before, like when he first did the first year, 2 years ago, before he was told me it was coming up, and I was like, and I'm not invited? And he's like, no, it's for all the affiliates. And I'm like, and I'm not invited?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand, but it is what it is. It's okay. It's his thing. It's all right. There's no ill will. We're good buddies. We haven't talked in a while. I need to do that again, but great guy. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah, they're
awesome.
great people.
Yeah, so let's get to the Smackdown a little bit. So obviously we said last year you were an instructor in the learning zone. Did you have any plans last year when you were at the expo of even competing in the Smackdown this year?
Um, Last year when I saw the SmackDown, I was like, I didn't even know what was like what was happening. I remember I showed up that day helping Chris, and I'm just asking him like, hey, what's going on, and he started explaining to me, and I was like, oh, like that's cool. So from that moment forward, I was like, man, this is awesome. And then like me, like everything I do, my dad always comes with me. So him right away, he was like, oh, we're gonna try to do this, or let's try to do that, and him himself right away started rolling the ball of ideas of what we would
Nice.
do. So he got intrigued as well right away. Like we got to try this, and see what happens. And I from the first time that I saw it and how everything was, yeah, I was right away, like I want to try this, and the opportunity came around, this time, so that we took it, and
Nice.
it's
Is
fun.
Well,
is your dad involved with your business much?
Yeah. Oh
Did I
yeah,
get
yeah,
yeah, cool.
yeah. He's with me in the concrete business. He's like my right hand man, but this last time he broke his foot, so he was out in crutches the whole time, just waddling around everywhere because he didn't want to stay back in Illinois. He's like, I'm going. He's like, I'm tired of being at home. So he was out there in crutches, but he was moving.
nice.
Nice.
I saw him. Now that I know who I was going to ask you, but now I know who you're talking about. Yeah, he was hobbling around a lot.
Yep, yep. Yeah, he had a good time. When I told him what we were doing, he was a little hesitant. Like, you're building a truck? I'm like, yeah, it's a whole like damn, it's a life size truck. At the end, the damn thing measured like 14 feet long. It was full size. So he was like a little skeptical. It's like, oh, it's gonna be a lot of detail, and but like we weren't worried about any of that. I feel like the way we had it figured out, and how we thought about the project when we got there, we just started hammering down on what we had to do, and I think even at
Yep.
the end, we even had a little bit of time to just kick back and relax for like an hour or two. So
Yeah, you guys seem to be done a little bit earlier than some
yeah,
others. So whose idea was the truck?
So
Was
the truck
this?
came. The truck came. The idea of the truck came from the Whitfields. It was Zach and Josh. They're the ones that came up with the idea for the truck, and
Mhm.
then they had a certain idea of what to do once we got together. You know, we added the lights when I got there. I'm like, we should do lights. That got added on, and then like the whole front end thing, they added it on. Once they started doing like the tools, Josh was the main guy with like most of the other tools. So everybody had their certain job and certain ideas that they wanted to put into the truck. And
Yeah.
then I mean, Zach alone, that's like that man, that hair and that brain, just that man right there has a lot of good ideas, man. And
I
once
was
you
going to
once
ask
you
you
get
about
him
working with him.
going, dude, it is it is fun. It's fun because the shit that he thinks of sometimes you're just like, man, like where the hell do you get all these ideas from?
Not only that, but the whole time he's doing it, he's always got a smile.
He's
You could tell how
always
much
say,
fun he was having the whole entire time.
"Oh
He
man,
lets
if
you
I
know
was,
it
I'm
too.
gonna,
As soon as you like, if he looks over and sees you, it's just the biggest smile instantaneously at you. He pays attention to you, even though he's laser focused on what's going on. He'll stop everything he's doing just to say hi to you for a second. It's hilarious. He's quick, but it
oh yeah,
catches me off guard every time because we've been jabbing back and forth on social media over the last couple of days since we finally posted the first episode, the post show, and I'm just laughing at it because he's so vocal. He's not
Yep.
the shy guy of the group. Like, Josh is vocal sometimes and then quiet other times. You're quiet most of the time. So it's just kind of funny that you got Zach out there just loud and dangerous all the time. We love it.
oh yeah. No, that's his personality. That man,
Yep.
he's not afraid. He's not afraid to speak up at all. That's what I
No.
love about him. He's
He's proud
very
of who
good.
he is.
Yeah. He's very upfront and calls it how it is. And you like it, cool. You don't, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody like that, Tony.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been
Well,
down that road.
so did you ask the Whitfields to do this with you, or did the Whitfields ask you to do this with them
That's what I was going to
after
say.
last year?
They contacted me and they wanted to. They're like, they had the idea. They asked me if I wanted to be involved, and that's pretty much how it
They needed a
came.
leader, is
They,
what
they
they
needed a
needed.
name. Is all they needed. They just
Yes.
needed a name.
Yep.
We needed a
So,
name.
so when did they get started with this project? Because we all know that you guys had well over 40% done before you started. I mean, we're not going to
Uh,
deny that.
you guys can call it 40%, but there is no way in hell that was 40% done. Because when we
Okay.
got there, we all we did is just we cut the foam out, we scratch coated, and just ran our electrical. All the detail had to be put down at the show. The
Well,
dragon, you can see that was more than 40%. That's a full fucking blown face dragon just ready to, slap a
we,
little bit
we
of concrete
talked
on it.
we talked with them about that.
Yeah, we brought that up too. Yeah, we're not
You
going to
know,
deny that
but
either.
yeah, I mean, some people, I see why some people had more done than others. Some are close. It's easier transportation. Like, the guys from Hawaii, they had to just come with what
Yeah,
they had, and, they
Yeah.
knocked it out here. And they did fucking awesome work. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, there was a lot of people that did amazing work, and some people, like you guys said, it seemed like they came with more than 40% done. We were debating where our 40% was done because we were like, fuck, like, can we add more? Should we stop? Do we have to take some off? Like,
We
so
talked
we
about
thought
that. Yeah.
we thought we stopped right, like, exactly where we should have, because
We
then
had
it was
that we had that
too much.
conversation with Jeff. It's tough to determine each project
It is.
40%.
It
So
is.
that's kind of subjective, I guess. But yeah, back to your project. You guys invested a lot of time. Not saying it was besides the rules or anything, but you guys invested a lot of time and probably a lot of monetary value in this project as well, I'd imagine. Correct?
Yeah. I mean, so the project we took care of everything in Zach's pole barn. I mean, my garage is probably like 22 feet by 12. There's no damn way we're gonna fit a truck in here. But so we
I
took
was
care
going
of
to ask you
everything.
how the heck you got it there. Yeah.
Yeah, so everything was in their pole barn. And the good thing that when we started the whole truck is the first thing we thought about was, okay, we need to be able to break this down and put it together, and then have it, easy to move if they are going to keep it at Decocrete, and if not, then they can get rid of it. But from the beginning, we figured all that out, how to convert it into 3 pieces, put it together at the expo, and then it can be taken apart again in 3 pieces and transported, but
Nice.
we spent a lot of the time. Like I said, everything was done out there. The last 2 months before the expo, I was out there once a week for like 3-4 days out of the week. I was staying at Zach's couch. So thanks Zach for that. Sleeping next to the dog. um, and yeah, I was out there. Like I said, I think it was like I went out there four times or 5 times. Can't remember. Just a lot of back and forth, but it was a lot of traveling on my.
How long of a drive? How long of a drive is it one way?
Um, I remember one of those times I hit traffic. It was like 5.5, but typically I was around like 4.5 hours.
Wow. Obviously that's why you had to stay, because that would be too much. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you would go for
yeah.
like the weekend, for like Friday, leave Friday and stay there and come back Sunday.
Sometimes, yeah, or sometimes I would have to leave Monday and be there, during the week, come back. It just depending on their schedule, my schedule. How happy I can keep my wife without her being pissed off and wanting to divorce me because I'm at home for half the time. So,
Yeah.
and she's
What
gonna
does
watch
she
this.
say
whole
about
thing.
all this?
She wasn't happy. She was not happy of the lead time. She thought I was just out there partying the whole time. Which we were having
I
fun,
hear that
but
all the time. I hear that all the time, especially with like World of Concrete. And my wife doesn't have this issue whatsoever. She's been to a couple of these things back in the beginning of it all, and she's like, "Hell no, you can have all of it. I don't want anything to do with any of this," and just doesn't care whatsoever, because she knows, yes, we have a good time together. Yes, we do, but there's a ton of networking. We're nonstop around each other. There's so much going on. World of Concrete's even 10 times worse for me. Like, I go from 8 o'clock in the morning till 2 o'clock in the morning every single day, and there's nothing I can do about it. There's no room for your significant other to enjoy the ride with you or watch it or anything like that when I'm doing,
nope.
So I get it. It's a lot. There's
Yeah.
a lot to it.
And my wife, I think she figured that out being there this time for the expo, because I was telling them like, if you guys want to see everything, like, yeah, it makes me happy. My kids get to see what I do, and I'm like, you can come, but I'm like, you gotta understand. I'm like, I'm not gonna have time to. Hey, can you help me with the kids, or can you walk around with us and see like what's going on? Like, I'm just there. Like, she saw the stress in me. We stayed in the same Airbnb, and I was leaving in the morning before she was even getting up. So we were just barely seeing each other during the day for a little bit. We're working on the truck at the expo, get off, see each other for a little bit, go to eat somewhere, sleep, and then back at it the next day. So it's a stressful week. It's fun, but there's no room, like you said, to bring your kids
It's a
and walk
grueling
around with them.
experience.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's no sightseeing. The funny thing is, this is the third year going to the Football Hall of Fame, and I have yet
Yep.
to go to the actual Football Hall of Fame.
Same
I
here.
have not. That doesn't fit into our schedule at all. We've
No.
got to hang
yeah,
out on the football field the night before it all starts, but I didn't. I've never actually spent the time to go to the Hall of Fame, even though it's,
right there.
a block right there.
Yeah.
It's
That's such
crazy
a
to
great
think about
point.
how busy it is.
It's
It's a lot.
busy, and especially for you guys. I mean, Rick did it last year. Lewis, you're in it this year. There, you think about the expo from my point of view, Captain T, and I do help out. I was an instructor now 2 years in a row, and that's busy enough. But for the people that are in the Smackdown, it is grueling. It's not by any means, hey, I'm going away for a couple days. You guys are working nonstop, doing your thing, and yeah, hats off to you, because it's not no picnic by any means. So I do see you guys as putting in the work all
Yeah,
the
but
time.
here's the other way to look at it too, because both of you have done the training stuff too there and been part of the trainings, which is all day also. Yeah, you
Yep.
have a lot of back and forth time between people and stuff like that, so you might be a little bit less busy overall, but you're not going anywhere. So no
No.
matter how you look at it, would you rather have something to do the entire time and be in the competition and have more fun doing that, or would you rather be the spectator walking around with zero to do and
Right.
and just watching? And that's
I
one of the
love it.
things for me all the time. Like this year was a tough one for me because Jeff and I weren't sure what I was going to do, if I was going to do a demo, because this is the first year I've ever not been able to do my thing. And so it took us months to try to figure out what will Rick do, to be honest with you, because it's never happened before. And so luckily I had, a demo to do and stuff like that because I was like, well, I got to have something to do. Like I can't go to this and just I'm hyperactive as it is. You got to give me something to do, and luckily there's plenty for me to show off and things like that. It all works, but still it's, and I've already
Yeah.
planned to enter the competition next year for that exact reason. Like, why not? There's no reason not to enter. If you don't get in, oh well. But there's no reason not to enter because they
Yeah.
know I'm gonna bring it and compete the whole entire time and things like that. Like I love it. I love competition. It's no big deal if I lose. I'd rather be a part of it than not do it at all.
Right. Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
say there's some pros and cons to it. I love doing the instructing because I love helping out Decocrete and the industry in general and being a part of it. But there are times where it's like, oh man, I wish I could kind of see some more people or catch some more things. But overall, I do prefer being a part of it. It's an honor. It really is an honor to
It
be a
is.
part of something like that. And there's plans of maybe me being a referee for this upcoming SmackDown, and that would be absolutely phenomenal. Because
Which, speaking
just
of Lewis, do you think we need referees?
yes,
We
What do
do.
you think?
We do.
Because we
Okay.
know how long they helped you and helped, and,
Shit.
and even, and you'll see when it
Yeah.
comes out with Nick and Cody, they were like, no, they literally only did it for an hour. And I'm like, it's hard for me to believe that I watched it, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. But we did see a lot of activity. Like we stated in the post show, the Lifelines helped the top 3 teams more than everybody else. Does that make a difference? Probably not at all. It could be completely coincidental.
Right.
But
And
we
was
did
that by design?
notice.
Probably not.
No, it's not. But we did notice that the top 3 had the most time with the Lifelines. They did. That part is undeniable.
No, yeah. I mean, I honestly, I don't. I didn't see it that way, but that's just probably me because my head was everywhere. I
But
was
do you
course.
think we need referees? Do you think we
we,
need
we do.
referees overall?
We do.
Yeah.
No,
And
I
that's
do.
because
I
yeah,
think
that's because
referees would be good just to keep everything fair wise with the
yes.
time being spent with the lifelines.
Yep.
That's the only reason. Because other than
It's
that,
a,
I mean, everybody else, instead, I mean, instead that team that cut the foam inside that they weren't supposed to. But you mean other than that,
oh,
we,
okay.
I
you
saw
know,
Josh's reply about that on the social media, and I didn't know what he was talking about. I didn't know that happened.
oh yeah, I think it was the epoxy guys. They were cutting in the back after they told them we couldn't cut inside and shit. But yeah, we were just talking shit about that.
I love all the shit talking that Josh does, and I've been doing a lot over the last couple episodes, and of course I got to jab back as much as I can because he's on, he's always on my case, but like I said on the last one, when you see him in person, he does not act like that. He doesn't come up to me and still keep talking shit. Right away, he's like, "Hey, buddy, how you doing?" Gives me a big handshake. He's a very friendly guy, but he loves to talk shit, and I think it's hilarious because I'm the same way. It's rare when you come across someone that's willing to engage with you to that extreme, and you can't help yourself is the problem the two of us have now because of it. I can only imagine where it's going to keep going in the future because of it.
Yeah, that's so fun. It's really fun when you got multiple people willing to stir that pot a little bit. And
Oh,
So how much did the Lifelines help you though? I mean, and I'm not saying like they did all the work for you. I'm saying how much of a benefit were they to the project you were doing?
I think they helped us a lot at when we got to the point of coloring the truck. I think that's where where it really came in, that the help that they gave us. Because we were we all had different ideas of how we were gonna stain it. We were unsure. We had different techniques we were wanting to try, and then we weren't so unsure on how the the stain was gonna be taken by the concrete, since we were kind of damn near slicking it hard. So we weren't sure of how that was gonna work out. But no, the lifelines came in pretty good on the help for that. And the truck, I mean, the way it came out, the color and all that, to me it looked pretty badass.
Well, and to that same point too, where did the idea for the truck come from? Like, what was the point to it? What was the story behind
Um,
it?
so the story behind the truck actually, Zach went to a car show where they actually had a pickup with the rusted patina color, like like how what we did, and it had toolboxes and everything. The only thing we'd really changed was like we didn't add a rack to it. We were going to, and then we pretty much just slammed the thing, to the floor. That way, we wouldn't have to do like any suspension work, or stuff like that. So we're like, just drop it, make it lowrider style. That way, it's less detail we have to worry about having to do. But Zach had the original picture of where the idea came from because he went to a car show and he's the one that saw it.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Good job, Zach.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely good job.
So whose idea was it to do the peat moss for the staining? Was that the Lifeline's idea, or did
The
you guys
lifelines,
kind of?
yeah, no, the
That was
peat moss,
awesome.
that was
That was a
awesome.
yeah. They did a really good job on that. At one point, when I saw the peat moss on the project, it reminded me of Tow Mater from Cars, and, which we talked about, and that was really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even to that same point, because that's one of the things we kept saying was that what what was the goal to using the truck as an idea? Like, were you guys thinking about, hey, we're trying to advertise to amusement parks, or literally we just thought it was a good idea and we didn't think that far?
Yeah, I think it would be. We just thought it was a good idea, and we didn't think it would get that far. Because once we started getting to the actual building, like sculpting the truck, the fenders, and all that, Zach, I think he's the one that came up with the idea to put the Decocrete logo on the front end, and then we kind of blended that in with the front end, So that to me was like, okay, that's just badass, because now, we got a truck, but we're also representing, the company that is making all this expo happen, so they get a win out of it, because they're getting advertisement, and we get to do it, we get to do what we like, so
And
it
that's
worked out
probably
for
why
everybody.
some people think that there's favoritism to why you won, just because you put
Yes.
Decocrete on it, which we know we've already squashed that with Jeff and everything like that. But it is funny that everybody just assumed that there was favoritism because you did that, and it was like, no, it was just cool. Like, why wouldn't you do it? You know,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was a
that's
great
that's the
idea.
way. Yeah, that's the way we looked at it, because we were like, and then we also, when we were doing it, Josh kept saying like, what, we should just give it to them once it's done, and they said, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure they said Jason said they were gonna try to put it somewhere. In one of the buildings, so hopefully that's what happened with the truck, and it didn't get crushed. That's
That's good. When
That's the hardest part about all of it.
the hardest.
when did Jason's story become a part of it, or was that original, or did that kind of manifest as the project continued
Yeah,
along?
that manifested, man. Like I said, we as we were going, just I guess being in a pole barn with three dudes listening to country music at midnight, you should start coming up with ideas. So
Yeah.
You had to put up
we
with their
started
country
coming
music
up.
the
They
whole
started
time.
coming. The what again?
I said you had to put up with their country music the whole time. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't mind it, man. I listen to country music, to Mexican hip hop, rap. I mean, you name it. I listen to it all. I like
Anything but
country.
country for me.
That
That's
brings
where
up
I
a
draw the
great
line.
point, though. The story. So, Rick kind of touched on it last year with his project, adding the mirror, and you guys touched on it this year. I think it's a very great idea for competitors in the SmackDown in the future to add other aspects, like kind of like side pieces to your main project. If you can add something like that, it probably gives you a little edge. So your story or the mirror that changes the entire view of the entire project. I think those are really cool concepts and side concepts that will give people an edge in the future. It's really
So
good thinking and
explain the
creativity.
story. What's the story?
The Jason story. Go ahead, Lewis.
Yeah, tell me the story because I don't know this part.
Oh, the Jason story. Man, I have to read it to you because I read it a few times at the expo, but I don't like on the top of my head. I can't remember, but I got a picture. I can read it to you right now.
And while you're looking that up, uh, how long, when did you guys start planning this project though? Like, how long ago did you start working on it? Just the last couple months before the show?
Um, it had to have been when I went out there. Um, I'm pretty sure it was like the first week of January when I went out there because it was like 2 months, damn near on the dot before the expo that we started on it. Because I was still
Okay.
working, they
Okay.
still had work going on. So once the 2 month deadline came in, we're like, okay, now we got to get together and start getting all this ready.
Nice. So yeah, another question while you're looking that up is, do you do you plan on continuing to collaborate with those guys? I think you guys have something going on called the Southern Indiana Decorative Concrete Institute.
Oh yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
Is
Good
that like
question.
an is that going to be an ongoing future collaboration between you guys?
Yeah, I mean that's something that we want to do like once a month, because we had some people
Okay.
interested at the expo, the work we do. So this is something that was in the
Because they
talks
also want
before.
to learn how to build a truck.
I mean, hey, if they want to, we can teach them. They want to stay there for about a month or so. We'll teach them.
Truck number 2.
Yeah. I mean, we're trying to just teach like 2-day classes. If people are interested. This month at the 27th, the 28th, we're trying to do like a stamped concrete one. Just go over basic water-based staining. Do some engravements into the concrete, the sealers. So pretty much just a little bit of everything with that. Concrete related, and then hopefully next month, I mean, we can kind of switch it off and do like some overlay systems, and then the following month probably do some epoxy. So there's a little bit of everything. We can try to teach people that are out towards them in the area, and I'm just there to assist them. I'm there for support. To help them do what we got to do and stuff like that.
Cool.
Did
So other than
go ahead.
that, yeah, go ahead, Rick.
I was just gonna say, my biggest question that I've been waiting to ask the entire time is, did the epoxy ever dry?
So it did eventually at the end, but it was tacky in the morning, but it was okay because we had bright ideas, so we just chucked dirt all over it, and people were able to walk on it, and it worked out pretty well. People thought it was a
Did you
dirt
hear?
road, and I was like, voila.
Did you hear that story, Tony? When I walked on it and I just looked at Lewis right
Yes.
away and I was like, "What the hell?" And he
Squish
was just like,
squeaks.
"Oh, it hasn't been long enough." I was like, "Yes, it has. There's no reason for
Mm.
this to be tacky." And I'm stuck in it, and I'm trying to autograph, and I'm just stuck there, and I'm like, "What do I do now?" Uh, it's
Oh.
probably still in the bottom of my shoes.
Probably it's dry. It's dry now, though. That's the important part.
Yeah, it doesn't matter now. It's gone.
So I got a question for you, Lewis.
Yeah.
Who did you guys think was your biggest competition pre-show when the 8 teams were announced? Who did you think was going to give you the biggest run for your money?
Man, honestly,
Or did you guys
I
just
wanna-
think you were going to run away with it?
no, like I said, I mean, I don't know. It's probably just my ego talking, but from the beginning, I wasn't too like worried about it. I just had a gut feeling like we're here, we got something that nobody's seen or done and so I was very confident in the work we had. But I would say the dragon, to me, the dragon was my favorite, and I thought that was kick ass. And I'm like, if I lose to the dragon, I'm okay with that because I like that project. It was pretty badass. I like the whole
Yeah.
concept of how they did the whole thing, with the design on the floor, the benches, and all that. That to me was just like, man, this is something you want to have in your fucking basement of a house, like at a fireplace. It's top notch work.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, because you guys were also 27 votes away from each other, so it couldn't have been any
Yeah,
closer.
yeah.
Very close.
So yeah, it could have
Very
swung
close.
both either way, and no one would have complained the difference between first and second
Nope.
between the two of you if you're that
Nope.
close. Absolutely,
No.
that's
Yeah.
cool.
So if you do enter next year, do you think you could top this year? And do you have any idea on what you would do to top this project?
Um, I haven't put any thought into it yet, and if I did, I probably wouldn't spill the beans on it. I would keep everybody on the edge, just wondering what the hell we're gonna do.
I have an idea for you, Lewis. I have the perfect
You-
entry for you already. I
I'll
think you
be the
should do a portrait of me.
we can out of concrete. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Don't tempt us with a good time.
It would take a lot of concrete for how big the head has to be for it.
Oh god.
One of my funniest things is talking to the other competitors throughout the whole show, and the frustration for them to go, they brought a freaking truck. What do we do now? They brought a freaking truck. Like I can't complete. I mean, like you had already psychologically beat everybody's rear end practically when they were like, you rolled in with the freaking truck. What do I do now? It was so funny. And at the time it wasn't funny, but looking back on it, especially when you guys won, it was like they all saw it. They're all like, well, I can't do anything now. Got a freaking truck to compete against. Like, what the hell? And we were really worried that you weren't going to finish it on time for that reason. I was like, man, that's a lot of work.
It was. It was funny because when we opened the trailer, everybody just saw a front end of a truck, so everybody assumed we just brought a front end of the truck. Once we unloaded that and then we started sliding the rest of it out, they're like, oh shit, it's a complete truck. That's when everybody started to get worried. They're like, these guys just didn't bring half a truck. They brought the full length, all 14 feet.
Yeah.
So crazy.
So when Josh posted that little snippet ahead of time of the truck, where I'm assuming the lights that you used on your project came off of the truck that he had a video of. Was that truck the inspiration, or was that just a truck you guys found that replicated what you wanted to do and you were going to take parts off of it to use?
I think the picture that you're referring to was where we just because they have Josh has like a scrapyard that wasn't too far.
Yeah.
And I told him
Okay.
I don't think we should waste too much time trying to like carve out headlights and everything. I'm like, what if we just you got the junkyard, let's go take off some old pieces from this old truck. They found those headlights from an old like 50s truck, and then I'm trying to what else did we take off? The rear tail lights, off of old utility truck as well. So like everything came from out there at a junkyard or in Zach's house somewhere. I think the strobe light that we had, it was in Zach's garage from God knows when he was younger. He had it there stored, and magically he was looking for it and we found it and we're like, boom, that goes perfect. Slam it on top and we're good to go.
Oh, that's cool. So, what do you think? What would you say? What advice would you give to somebody who was considering doing the Smackdown next year? Like, what's something that nobody really expects from a competition like that you might say?
Man, I mean, you just gotta come in with a game plan. We talked about it a lot, me and the guys. Before we came out, like we gotta come up with a game plan. Like, once we get there, what's the first thing we gotta do? Don't just come in and kind of figure it out as we're going. So we came in with a game plan of what we had to do. Each of us had our own jobs. So I feel like that gave us the advantage. And then all of us have hands on with the vertical application, stainings, and all that stuff. So that kind of helped. I would say our team. Because we had all three hands moving. We were going. So it worked out pretty well for us.
Yeah, that's what the second place guys said too. Cody and Nick, they said they had a very precise schedule for the entire project, and I'm imagining that's pretty key to something like this.
Yes, you have to. I mean
Yeah.
You do it every single time. You have to have a plan, and you have to do a lot of experimenting beforehand. I mean, even with me just engraving on the floor, for example. I mean, I'm completely drawing that ahead of time and basically timing myself so that I know how long it's going to take to do those details. And then I don't know the staining part, like I'm not going to practice the staining as much, but I need to know that I can get this part done so that I have the rest of the time to do the rest of the details and things like that. There's a lot to it. It's not just show up and do it. As much as I make that joke all the time, then I act like I didn't do any prep ahead of time. I just showed up. Well, I mean, I might not have physically not, but I've practiced and rehearsed and planned and sketched out and, like you said, the timeline. It's all about the timeline. You got to know when things have to be done, or else you do not want to get behind. And then that's a great thing about these too, compared to the way they used to do the demos, where it was like, you can work almost 24 hours a day while you're there at Decocrete. Now that this is at a convention center and you can't do that, it's only the hours it's open, and that does change the whole plan and your timeline to make sure everything is ready to go and you can nail it.
Yeah, we talked about it pre-show about time and people finishing, and everybody finished the first year, and as far as we know, everybody finished what they wanted to do the second year. So,
Really we were very concerned because we thought we weren't going to have enough time. We kept like overthinking it. Like, man, we're probably doing too much, and we're not going to maybe finish this or that. So like, we were like you guys said, we had to come up with a game plan. Like, this day we got to have this done by the second day. This has to be done. And the final day, we just gotta, finishing touches, details, and have people walk around. And what I think helped us too, like we had a whole story behind it, which I couldn't find the story. Sorry, I thought I had a picture of it, but I can't find it. But I'll send you a picture. I'll get one. We had the story behind it, and then there was the whole truck pretty much was just like a whole Decocrete theme. It's just all them. All the tools. Like that's the crazy thing to me. Like all the tools that Josh made, everything was foam core. And then we did the scratch with the vertical. But he did mag flows. He did an edger. A joint, a tool joint, the groover, like all the tools to come along. So it was pretty cool. I was like, yeah.
How'd the pickaxe break? I saw that broke.
That broke before they ever got
moving it around. Yeah, just moving it around. And then I think somebody was picking up somebody was looking at tools. They picked it up and they broke one too. But I mean, it was more for show. The groover, we actually did use it to make. If you notice on the pictures, we did a little curve where the patch of grass was next to it. So that we actually used the tool that was made out of concrete. We used that groover to make that joint, and it came out pretty cool because it worked.
Nice.
Yeah, Josh gave me a little tour in the beginning before, like when we just got there, and was showing me all the different tools and showed me the ones that had already broken, and we talked about that, and whether it's going to glue back together or whether it's just going to be two different pieces, and he gave me the play-by-play of where they were at that point and what they were trying to do, and I was like, you're going to cover all of this and stain all of it?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah, sure you will. But
yeah, it was a lot.
It was a lot. A lot of detail. And that's one of the things I said to him is if you pull the details, you got this. If you fail on the details, that's going to be, it's a make it break it because you had too many details. And if you couldn't pull those off, that was going to change everything.
Oh yeah. And that's what I think was what helped us. All the detail, like even the toolbox. Like I mean, that toolbox was open. The only thing that was the chain was the only thing that was real because it was holding the door there. But like that whole thing would look like wood in the inside. It had knots, and then we had the little lights in there. So it was custom. It was cool. It was.
You guys even made your own stamps, right? You made your own custom stamps for some of the details on that truck?
Yeah. I brought some of mine that I made out here by me. Like knots or wood wood bark and stuff like that. Out there we made the bolts that were on the front end of the truck. We pulled them off a bridge from like 1883, I believe. Somewhere out there in Indiana. So that was pretty cool.
Wow.
Like all the bolts that we had on there, they were all epoxy. And they were all just bolts that we precasted just from stuff that we had laying around.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I saw Josh showed us the diamond plate was like a custom stamp he made, and also the tire. the tire tread was
Hair
a
thread.
stamp you
Yep.
guys made. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we made that roller to do that
Yep.
metal plate on the back. We just, like I said, it was just an idea that came up. We tried it out, and it worked. And it worked out pretty good. It imprinted pretty well on the truck. And then once we got the stain on there, it made everything look real.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with you. It worked really well. So tell us, what are some of your favorite moments of the whole project? Like during the show, were there moments that you could actually step back for a second and enjoy the moment, or were you just knee deep in all of it that you didn't even realize there was a world around you?
I think the part I enjoyed the most because I had my parents both there, my mom and dad, and then I had my wife, all my kids. So I think to me that was the most fun part. Watching them, watch me work, and them walking around and just like being like overwhelmed, like like holy shit, like how did you guys even do this? And it's just cool when you see people like look at the work you're doing, and they just look at you like how, like how. So to me, that was a good feeling. So that's what I enjoyed most of it. And then when we won, you hear all the chanting, the cheering, people screaming, and then they come out with a big ass belt, and you're just like, holy shit.
It's got to be overwhelming.
Yeah, it was, and it's funny because in the picture that they posted, I'm screaming of joy, and I got my daughter
Yeah.
hanging on my side, and she's like there with the serious face, just quiet, looking at everybody like, why is everybody yelling?
That's
Oh
awesome that you
man.
made it such a family event. And I mean, and the Whitfields did last year. I mean, there's a lot. It also makes your schedule more difficult, like we were talking about before, because, I'm out there having fun talking to people all night and you're going home to family the entire time. It's not like you really got to enjoy the little details outside of it because you're work and you're back and you're work and you're back. And there's no one between for you during that time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was like it was great, man. My kids liked it. My wife already told her, regardless if I go next year to compete or not, we're still coming back. They already told us we can come back. If we don't compete, I would be more than happy to help out in any way I can. If Tony wants to compete, I'll take his spot and I'll take his station and I'll train for you and you compete.
Well, there's talks about me being the referee, maybe. So
There you
I
go.
would.
If you need an extra ref, I can be your man.
You might be the second referee.
I don't know if you
As
can
a,
go from being the champ to the referee.
a
That's
champ
like
to the ref.
backwards.
Yep. That might be biased.
Right?
Well, it is funny how much some of the other contestants thought that your win was favoritism. We both know it's not.
Yes.
I'm not even trying to like poke like I joked about you beforehand that I might poke a little bit here and there. I do not believe that at all because I know how Decocrete works. I'm fortunately on the other side of the conversation where I've known these guys for so long. They
Yeah.
don't care about any of that. They want everybody to succeed. They want everybody to have a great time. They want you to get out of this what you put into it. Period. End of conversation. There's no need for favoritism because everybody wins from their point of view. They're always going to win. And I love that fact,
Yeah.
and I know it's like that, but it's a funny to everybody's reaction and just assuming that you won just because you made a truck, not because of how good the truck was. It's just because you made it, you won because you said, I'm going to give this to Decocrete. That's the
Right.
only reason some people think you won, which we know is not true in any way, shape, or form.
No, the whole thing of them even coming into telling us like, yeah, we'll take it was at the end. Like once everything was said and done, that's when Jason was like, you know what, we'll find a place for it. Because we were also thinking like if they're not gonna take it, shit, we'll load it back up and either I'll bring it out here to me or we can take it back down to Indiana. We'll do something with
Yeah.
it. This to us,
Rather than destroying it.
yeah,
I
to
got a
us it was
spot
a
in my
good
front
piece.
yard for it.
Yeah, there you go. You see, yeah, there was always gonna be a place to put it, and for just to get rid of it. No, and then I think too what helped us out a lot was like I had, my family was there, and then Zach and their family was there, Josh, and they were promoting. We had a table set up with our information on there. I had my brother-in-law that works with me. He was standing there passing out business cards, stickers that we had for people. I was giving out shirts that I brought extras. I was giving them out. And then we kept telling everybody, hey, don't forget to vote. Don't forget to vote. Don't forget to vote. Like it was that was the most like the conversation that was repeated with everybody we talked to. Josh was making sure to hand out
Sure.
business cards and telling people to vote. My brother-in-law was like, hey, do the same
Yep.
thing. We got to promote and just keep telling people, don't forget to vote. So we were on it. We were
So
just there
so
working.
business cards and $20 bills is what you guys were buying votes with.
I wish.
Yeah, we were told that
I had to throw
you
that in
paid for
there.
it. Yeah, we were told you paid for that win by getting
uh,
those votes. That Josh was giving money out on the side to get those votes for everybody that voted for you guys.
we were giving out free drink tickets.
Whatever it takes, I guess.
I'm not going to name names of someone who had drinks behind their competition the entire time, their project. I'm not going to say who had those drinks back there that I put there specifically for myself.
I have an idea.
I lost you guys.
Oh, you froze. So you
How
froze
are
on
we?
your side too?
Can you hear me?
No, you're good, but Lewis is a little frozen.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Lewis is frozen. It's a perfect freeze. I'm going to have
Yes.
to capture that.
Oh, we
Oh.
lost him.
He's offline. See? Does it say offline to you down below?
Yes.
See,
Yes,
that's
it
what
does.
happened to me. Did it say offline on mine when that happened to me?
Yes.
I was going to say.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. So there he is.
He's back.
There it is.
Oh my
Sorry
God, you have
about
no idea. This happened to us last week and it did not come back. And I had to restart everything. I had to stop the show. It was a
It was Rick who
nightmare
went
for
off.
me. Yeah, because I'm the one that went off and you're freezing a little bit, but we will wrap this up just in case because we're so close.
Yes.
So let's not take any chances because I don't want
Yeah.
any non-video. I don't want to get shit for doing a bad show. I got to be as professional as I can at all times.
Yes.
Shit,
All
I'm
right,
gonna have to
so
go get me a nice mic like yours for
let's
the
finish
next
this up. Yeah, I can tell you exactly where to get everything you need. So let's wrap this up then. First and foremost, of course, thank you very much for coming. I mean, I know it took a lot to do it. You jumped on as soon as I asked you, you said yes immediately, and you did it. It wasn't like you were just being nice to me. You've been adamant about getting on here right away, and I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. We don't know each other very much. We met at, I think, Epoxy Floor Wars, if I remember the first time we met, and had a good conversation. And I said that on the pre-show that I felt like it was great to talk to this young guy that was an up-and-comer. And are you frozen again?
No, but it wasn't Epoxy Floor Wars.
Okay, good.
No.
Okay. It wasn't Epoxy Floor Wars. Where was it?
No. If we ever met, it had to been through Deco Creek because it wasn't Epoxy War. I know Epoxy War Floor, but I haven't been involved in it with them.
Oh, I
was gonna
thought you
say,
were
I don't
there
think
the
he was
second
there.
year. Yeah, because we both thought you were there.
Yeah,
No.
I remember you saying that, and I thought so too. But
Okay.
Uh-uh.
Well, I
Not
remember
me.
talking to you once. I already know that. And then I talked to you again with Chris. I thought that was the second time I had met you. So, and had a good conversation with you when you were helping Chris Kroll.
Yeah.
But if we didn't meet the first time, then I am confused and it does happen. I'm an old man. I probably forgot.
lots of people.
No, yeah, it's a man.
Lots
It's a
of
lot
people,
of
though,
yeah,
I'm
it's a lot
sure.
of people in the networking.
Right. All right. Well, is there anything else you want to say to finish this up, to close it out, to the fans, the audience, everybody listening, since you are the champion, the Smackdown champion? What do you have to say to your friends and family and followers?
Man, just thank you to everybody, for the support. For always
Or not?
engaging, with me and just for all the help that everybody, comes and gives me specifically, because I still feel like I'm new to a lot of this, and I look up to a lot of the people that that a lot of us know, you and me. So and I just want to say thanks to everybody. Thanks to Decocrete for for allowing me to from where I started to where I am now. For them having me there and just for the support. It means a lot to me. And thank you, Rick, for having me here. Tony, thank you guys, and I appreciate it a lot.
Awesome. Well, I don't think I could have said it any better than that. So thank you guys very much for your time. Have a great evening, and everybody enjoy themselves. Thank you.
Thank you.